Today we're going to be going through the most likely scenario for a Democratic majority in the United States Senate come 2018. So when we look at this map, we start off with 42 Republicans and 23 Democrats, looking at the current composition for the United States Senate, 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats. This puts the Democrats at a disadvantage looking at this map, considering 10 of these states went to Donald Trump back in 2016. However, it doesn't seem too unlikely for them to either tie the majority or possibly even take it. Right now, they have 49 seats, which means they only need 2 more, and the Republicans have 51. Looking at this map, we start off with 42 Republicans, so clearly, they only need 8 right now because of Vice President Mike Pence, signified by the red down there. That means if they reach 50, they take the majority, so they only need 8 seats. And considering that there are a number of safe seats like in Nebraska, Wyoming, Mississippi, the Mississippi special election, these races now tighten up. The entire 2018 Senate composition tightens up and puts the Republicans at 46 seats, which means there is really no great possibility for the Democrats to even get a substantial majority. If it was to happen, it would happen by 1 seat, and obviously it couldn't be less because then it would tie the Senate. 46 Republicans, they are now 4 away from taking the majority. The Democrats are at 23. But like the Republicans, there are safe Democratic seats, like in California, Wisconsin, that's not Wisconsin, but we'll come to Wisconsin later, Washington, I said Hawaii, Maryland, up across the Northeast, where we currently have Democratic incumbents who aren't going to lose their reelection or independence, as signified by the green right here, that caucus with the Democrats. That's a new color, darker green than before. I don't know why they don't do it here. 35 Democrats, pretty much Amy Klobuchar wins re-election in Minnesota. Special election goes to Tina Smith as well. New Mexico is probably not going to the Republicans, and Virginia, Tim Kaine is likely to retain that seat. So now the Democrats, are at 39 seats, but I failed to fill in 1 seat, and that was the state of Utah. Okay, right now, actually, I'm going to take away New Jersey. I usually fill that one in, and I never catch it, but I did catch it this time, so I probably won't be yelled at. But when it comes down to it, Utah is now a safe state for the GOP. It wasn't before with Orrin Hatch. That was a while ago, so I don't know why that mistake was made. But that puts the Republicans at 47, not any more lenient towards the Democratic Party, considering I just took New Jersey away from the Democrats. Again, not more lenient towards the Democrats. We currently have 38 Democrats and 47 Republicans. Looking at the current map now, if all the numbers stand, of course we have 15 leftover races, but still a lot more red than blue. And considering that there's only 3 seats that the Republicans need to win to retain the majority, let's talk about states, again, that Donald Trump won. Well, he won in Arizona, he won in Texas, he won in Florida, he won in Tennessee, he won in Missouri, he won in North Dakota, he won in Montana, he won in Indiana, he won in Ohio, he won in West Virginia, he won in Pennsylvania, he won in Michigan, and he won in Wisconsin. The Republicans only need 3 of those seats to take back the majority. But, of course, there are always going to be races that are currently likely for the Democrats. So if this was a scenario where the Democrats were to take the majority, they would have to go through states like Ohio and New Jersey. Those 2 states would have to go towards the Democratic Party. Montana right now can currently be rated as a likely state. When we look at this map, there are a number of other possibilities for Democrats to win. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania could all likely go to the Democrats. And if they are to take the majority, they would have to win these 3 states. You take those 3 states away, there's absolutely no way that the Democrats can win the majority, because take those 3 away, the Republicans are already at the majority. So keep that in mind. But there are some likely Republican states. Texas. Ted Cruz is probably not going to lose that race. And keep in mind, all the states left were won by Donald Trump in 2016, except for Nevada. The Republicans only need 2 out of the remaining 8 states. So again, not so beneficial towards the Democrats. However, there are leaning Democratic states at this point. West Virginia could be characterized as leaning Democratic. Tennessee, surprisingly, can be rated as leaning Democratic at this point in time. Actually, but I do want to come back to it because we are going to talk about the most probable scenario for the Democrats to win the majority back. So when we look at a couple of other of these races, we're going to start actually filling in all of these with the safe characterization. For right now, I only use the likely and leaning in these type of videos, only to show the initial characterization of what the race would be won by. However, I think it looks a lot cleaner when we just use the safe colors for right now, especially since I'm going to be moving over into this type of map. But we have 45 Democrats, 48 Republicans. Where can the Democrats win? Well, in Arizona, Kyrsten Sinema is currently leading all of her GOP opponents. Okay, she's reaching around that 50% mark, which means that she really only needs to expand on a couple more voters in order to win that election. And she started off with a very early lead, and her lead hasn't really died down that much. If anything, it's just maybe narrowed down 2 to 3 percentage points over the course of, half a year. So that's not a lot, and especially leading into 2018. Arizona is one of those states with turning tides in terms of demographics. Don't expect much for the GOP here, which is very surprising, considering Arizona used to be a solid GOP state, but the GOP is focusing a lot more of their funds on states like North Dakota, Missouri, Indiana, Florida, and Tennessee compared to a couple of other these races. But Nevada would also have to flip if the Democrats were to take the majority, because again, if Nevada and Arizona are flipping, a couple of other states are flipping, but if they're going red, a couple of other states are also going red. A lot of them can be telling signs, especially when we look at the 2018 election night, when we do get there. If states like Indiana, Florida, and Tennessee are going early off in the night, do not expect much for the Democrats later on in the night, considering that it would just show that the national wave of Democrats isn't really coming out to vote, especially in a couple of these states. But enough talking about that. We have 47 Democrats, 48 Republicans. Where can the Democrats win? Well, Florida is obviously going to be a main target, considering that they are currently behind in polls, but it's not as lopsided as a state like Indiana or Tennessee or Missouri or North Dakota. This is the state that voted for Donald Trump least out of those 5 states, which means that this state has a real possibility of re-electing a Democratic incumbent. Even though it is against the current incumbent governor, this would be an area where the Democrats would need to win in if they were to take back the majority. There is room for one more seat for the Republicans, and it's very, very contested as to where it comes from. But for right now, I would say North Dakota. If the Democrats were to take the majority, they'd likely focus on states like Indiana, where they're not as behind as they are in North Dakota, or Missouri, where Claire McCaskill is leading in every single poll except for ones taken on the inside for the Republicans, which is really good for her, considering she got very lucky being against Josh Hawley, as she did with her other opponents in previous elections. And Tennessee, Phil Bredesen consistently leading Marsha Blackburn in all the polls. So, except for the ones taken online, a lot of those polls that typically should favor the Republicans, calling polls, nothing more interactive than that in terms of, reaching out to voters, that typically skews in the favor of the Republicans. But somehow Phil Bredesen is still leading. And it also could be played to the fact that Tennessee has a Democrat who is very popular across the state, even to this day. So when it comes down to it, Tennessee probably could flip before North Dakota stays blue. So if the Democrats were to take back the United States United States Senate, and to take back the majority that they previously held in 2012 and lost in 2014, it would be through these states, and that would give them the majority of 51 to 49 Republicans. That is very considerable. Also, if you look at this map, a little bit more blue in states like Arizona, Nevada, and Tennessee, but a little bit more red in a couple other states like North Dakota. But still, regardless, looking at this map, the Democrats did gain a net 2 seats to take back the majority, which is what they need to do. But also, I'm not saying this scenario is likely, but it is possible. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I will see you all tomorrow.